Well, joining me now in the studio is Ragip Soylu, Turkey correspondent for the Middle East Eye. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about relations between the U.S. and Turkey. We've gotten some conflicting and confusing messages coming from Washington about its policy in Syria, but the U.S. president and Turkish president spoke on the phone a few days ago. Are the U.S. and Turkey on the same page now when it comes to Syria?
I think they're not, but they have some sort of mutual areas that they have agreed on, such as, in general, the withdrawal that Turkey and the United States agree on. But how it's going to get conducted, it's going to face, is something that Turkey and the United States still need to work on.
Let's talk about that safe zone that was agreed to between Erdogan and Trump. How will that be implemented? And also, could this be a new opportunity for an improvement in U.S.-Turkish relations?
I mean, there are a lot of disagreements and unclear areas in the safe zone because Turkey wants the total control of the zone. But as far as I heard from the American officials, as well as the Turkish officials, American officials, especially the Pentagon, pushing for a plan that would only allow Turkish control in the countryside of the northern Syria. But in the urban areas, especially Kurdish majority areas, the area will be controlled by PYD. At least they promised that they will collect the weapons that the PYD have. But in the same time, this is not acceptable for Turkey because Turkey wants the area totally cleared out of YPG and PYD elements.
The U.S. says that Daesh has been defeated in Syria, but then we had this attack in Manbij last week that killed 20 people, including 4 Americans. How important is it for the U.S. and Turkey to continue talking and working together in order to prevent Daesh being emboldened and rising further?
It's extremely important because if there's a power vacuum in Syria that would allow ISIS revival, that would also threaten Turkey, not just only the United States or Europe. And because we are immediately right next to Syria, and that would allow them to conduct further operations as they did in 2015 and 16 in Turkey. So it's very important to plan and get the details agreed by both sides. But it seems to me that what President Trump wants to do in Syria is not agreed by his military leaders in Pentagon. So that needs to be worked out. That's why Senator Lindsey Graham's visit yesterday to Ankara and the day before was very important because, you know, Trump has Graham's ear and Graham has Trump's ear. They're very close to work on this kind of foreign affairs issues because, as you know, Trump also changed his ideas about the withdrawal after his meeting with Senator Graham. So there are a lot of work to do.
Moving forward, what can Turkey do to make sure that there's stability in Syria, especially in regards to relations with the U.S.? Because with Trump, I mean, he seems to say one thing one day and change his mind and tweet something the next day. So what can Turkey do to really maintain stable relations? I
mean, first of all, Trump should stop issuing messages or policy decisions through Twitter, as Turkish readout between the Trump and President Erdogan phone call suggested that, you know, public messaging is very important. It's not only allowing ISIS to learn the details of further steps of United States to take in Syria, as actually Trump was very critical about this in his previous messages, as you remember. He was basically criticizing domestic opposition that, oh, you're just declaring your moves in Syria and you're just letting know our enemy to what to do. Actually, he's exactly doing that. And in the same time, he needs to be in a frequent contact with Turkish officials as well as his, you know, officials, military leaders as well, because him just speaking to Erdogan is not enough. But for Turkey, Turkey is adamant to create the safe zone in northeastern Syria and also take care of the remaining fight with Daesh. And it will be enough for both sides to end the war in Syria because Trump wants to withdraw and Turkey wants to move in, and it's a perfect setup. Just need to sort out the details. This is very contentious between the military leaders that will need to be sorted out.
All right, Ragip Soylu, correspondent for the Middle East Eye. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.